combine is over. The draft is over. And now the preseason for 2023 is finally over. It is time for the 2023 NFL regular season. The hoopla is over. It is time to get to some real, actual NFL football. The teams are set, quarterbacks are in place, coaches have now found their players. Will start the 2023 regular season. Hello, everybody. I'm Christopher Mabry, and welcome to the Diehard Football Podcast 2023 NFL Week Number 1 preview. Starting off with the Detroit Lions going down to Kansas City, Missouri to take on those Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champions of not only the AFC West in the AFC Conference, but also the entire National Football League. And I do have the entire NFL schedule for week number 1 and my predictions for this week's matchup. So, like I said, first off, you have the Kansas City Chiefs at home, Super Bowl night, kickoff night against the restored Detroit Lions. They are trying to restore the war in Detroit, Michigan, but they have to get through the Chiefs, not only of the AFC, but the entire NFL. I like the Detroit Lions, I do. But the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, it's just another level. Brady's retired now. You have to think that Patrick Mahomes is that Brady player, at least in many people's eyes. I think the Chiefs will dominate the kickoff game as they have been the last few years. Nothing different here. Staying in that AFC NFC matchup, you got the San Francisco 49ers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Brock Purdy, we liked Brock Purdy last year. I hope he can do good again this year. But then you have Pickett. Many people are high on Pickett. Many people are high on Purdy. Purdy's going to have a good year, I think. It's time for Pickett, Kenny Pickett, to step up. I think he will step up in the Steelers' home opener against the 49ers. Good old rivalry here. I'm going with Pittsburgh. New Orleans Saints hosting the Tennessee Titans. Good matchup to start out for Tennessee. You got Ryan Tannehill over there. You got Derek Carr over in New Orleans, coming over from the the Las Vegas Raiders. Speaking of Vegas, the Super Bowl is in Vegas. Let's see if they can host that Super Bowl and be in it at the same time. Even though both teams are rebuilding after a long season last year, it's weird, but I like the Saints in this one. Hopefully, Derek Carr can do some wonders for New Orleans and get that team back in the NFC South race. And then finally, in that AFC NFC matchup, you got the Philadelphia Eagles going up against the New England Patriots. Super Bowl matchup. Many things have changed since then, though. Philadelphia went to a Super Bowl last year and dominated, even though they didn't win. But they had majority of that game dominated. Just bad field conditions really messed them up. And then you got the New England Patriots, Ezekiel Elliott's there. You still got Bill Belichick. Mac Jones is still your quarterback. Not the best quarterback they're still trying to find that Brady replacement. I like Philadelphia, and it pains me to say that because Philadelphia is in the NFC East. The Cowboys, who I'm a fan of, are also in the NFC East. I don't want that to happen because it's a divisional game or it's a divisional team. But I like the Philadelphia Eagles and Hurts. Jalen Hurts. That pains me to say that. Now that we finished the AFC NFC matchups, let's move over to the AFC slate of games. Pure AFC here. And you have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who had a tremendous season last year. Made the playoffs. Hopefully making the playoffs again this year. That's what I'm hoping. And then you got the resurgence of the Indianapolis Colts. Now the Colts, they got their maybe presumed starting quarterback in Richardson. Kind of choppy preseason. Let's see how that goes. It is a home game for Indy, and it's a divisional game for these two teams. I like the Colts though, even though that team is uncertainty right now. I like the Colts. Same thing in this next game, the Bengals and the Browns, and the black and blue division of the AFC North. Um, Cleveland got rid of Baker Mayfield last year. Baker went to the Rams. Now he's with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll get to them later on. Bengals, they have Joe Burrow. They're a solid team. They went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Both these teams are in Ohio. Both teams hate each other, probably with a passion. I gotta go with Cleveland. Hopefully, Cleveland can do some good starting out the first game of the 2023 season. I like both these teams. We'll see if it's a good one. Houston and Baltimore. Baltimore is going to take this one. Houston's still struggling, even though they got a quarterback of their own. I don't think it's going to work out. You still have, the Ravens quarterback. I'm blanking on the name. Lamar Jackson. That's right. You still have Lamar Jackson. You picked up OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. During free agency. Big signing there. I like Baltimore in this one. The Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos. AFC West matchup. Hopefully, there's no dark horses in Denver. Sean Payton is in Denver, Colorado now. You still have Russell Wilson there. Sean Payton wants a win, and he wants it in week 1. I'm going to give him that win in week 1. Going down, or having that home game against Jimmy Garoppolo and the Vegas Raiders. That's why I'm thinking Broncos over the Raiders. Chargers and the Dolphins. I think Miami's going to flounder around on this one. LA is charged up for this home opener. I don't know. Kellen Moore's first game in LA against the Dolphins should be a good one. Hope for the best for Kellen Moore. That should be a fun matchup down the line. And the final AFC matchup, you got an NFC good one on Monday Night Football, AFC East. The Buffalo Bills taking on the New York Jets. And of course it's on Monday Night Football because the Jets have who else? Aaron Rodgers, who's coming over from the Green Bay Packers. We'll get to the Packers here in a little bit, but I think the Jets will show up on Monday Night Football. They usually do. I think the Jets will win against Buffalo. Buffalo's a good team, but when you have Aaron Rodgers on your team, it just gets a little better. Uh, um, so we'll see what happens there. But it should be a fun matchup. Now we move on to the NFC side of things. And boy, are there some good games. Let's take a look at those right now. Over on the NFC, the Cardinals and the Commanders. Cardinals have been floundering. They haven't been really good the last, we're going to say 5 years, ever since Kurt Warner retired. Kurt Warner's been their savior, but not anymore now. And then you got Washington, who finally got rid of their owner, but can't decide on the name. I ain't going to get into that. But I think Washington's going to command this game. See what I did there? And unfortunately, it's another NFC East opponent, divisional opponent, that us Cowboy fans don't want to see win. But unfortunately, it's going to happen. Cardinals and Kyler Murray aren't that good, although Washington ain't the best either. But they're better than the Cardinals. That's why the Commanders will win this game. Panthers and the Falcons. Falcons have a second-year quarterback in Dennis Ritter. And then you have Young for the Carolina Panthers, #1 overall pick, who they got from the Chicago Bears. We'll get to the Bears in a second. I don't think this is going to work out for Young and the Carolina Panthers. Two unproven quarterbacks, but I like the Falcons quarterback better. Next up, you have the Minnesota Vikings, the home team in this one, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers without Tom Brady. Looks like it's going to be Baker Mayfield at the controls in Tampa. We got Kirk Cousins down in Minnesota. Let's see how that works out. Luckily, it's a day game, Minnesota Vikings fan, so you should be proud of that. I think your team's going to win. The Bears, look at the Bears in a second. The Vikings will win this game. And speaking of the Bears, you got the Packers. And Green Bay, all you need is a little bit of love. That's right, the Jordan Love era in Green Bay starts against the Chicago Bears, who originally was owned by Aaron Rodgers. Now he's not there anymore. Love's going to take over that ownership group in Chicago and hopefully win against Chicago. Unfortunately, I think Chicago's going to take it. I think that's my pick, Chicago over Green Bay. Next, you have an NFC West battle in the wild NFC West, as LA Rams are on the road against the Seattle Seahawks. Boy, this game's going to be good. Geno Smith in Seattle, congratulations, you get your win in 2023. Your first win in 2023. I mean, both teams are really good. Rams struggled last year. Seattle went to the playoffs. Let's see if they can continue that trend upward in 2023. And finally, we're going to Sunday Night Football, divisional rivalry. And it's no different of what I've been saying earlier. Cowboys are going to New York and facing the New York Giants. And I've said the Eagles will win this week. The Commanders would win. Now I'm saying the Giants are going to win against a team I'm a fan of, the Cowboys. That's right, Cowboys fans. I'm sorry. This proves I'm not a homer. Otherwise, I would say the Cowboys would win this game and win every game. I don't see it that way. I see the Giants whooping our butts on Sunday Night Football. You got Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, two driving forces for the Giants. It's going to be a rough start, but without without further ado, I hope you guys have a great 2023 opening weekend schedule, watching, viewing, however you watch the game. You're going to the game, you're watching it on TV. Enjoy the weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoy. I'll be back next week for another edition of the Diehard Football Podcast. And without further ado, I will see you guys later.